Hey guys, this is Nique and Ress, and this is She Wolf Alchemy.
So this weekend, me and Nique got into a really fascinating conversation. A homegirl of mine sent me a link to this thread going on about alpha women and beta males. So basically what it was is that there was a video of a celeb who I'm not gonna name, but in this video, she had posted a video talking about how her and her husband were going on their first date ever. So as I'm following along with the video, in my head, I'm like, oh, this is their first date as husband and wife. But it's later revealed, no, this is the first date they ever been on, period. He has never taken her out. So she explained it in a really cutesy way. We were just so busy and my career was taking off. And he was just so supportive. But all I heard was, so you've been paying for everything. The man wouldn't even take you on a date. Now y'all married. And he wasn't even the one who suggested it.
Yeah. When you told me about it, I was like, wait, is this the first date as them being married or what's going on? I was so confused. How did that happen? How did that happen?
I don't know. But so this is a rabbit hole that me and Nique went down. And then we were kind of should we talk about this? Because also some of our opinions got real, not politically correct. So at first we were maybe we shouldn't talk about this. Because most of my opinions on this is not politically correct, but we pushed through. And so we decided that's what we are going to talk about. We are talking about today high achieving women and them falling for men who are not on their level, either financially, status-wise, or education-wise. So I had a professor in grad school who used to go over this all the time. And she used to talk about how alpha women are used to being in control and that we were going to start seeing a trend because we're starting to see more women get into positions of power because we have more women going to college. Women are starting to graduate at higher rates than men. We're graduating from higher levels of education at a faster rate than we have in the past, and we're growing upwards steadily. And she was talking about how as that happens, kind of where we are now, technically right now, especially if you are a woman of color, almost across the board for people, the women outrank their males in regards to education. Mm-hmm. And this is across the board, Black, white, Hispanic. We are starting to see more women become breadwinners. The last article I read, it was something 40% in general of every population, women were now the breadwinners in their household. So basically my professor was just her whole thing was with men, women, when we see men who are high achieving or high status, for the most part, a lot of women rank them in a certain category. And it's usually above men who aren't as high achieving and so forth. And they usually have a bigger advantage in dating. Well, this professor used to always say, y'all have to remember, men do not think like that. Men don't care if women are high achieving, high status, or whatever. And some do, depending on their culture, they might want to marry that woman, but they're going to play around forever before they finally settle down. But in regards to how it makes them act towards them, approach them, trying to get them to settle, they don't really, as a whole, look at women being high status, being high achieving as something that is ooh, that puts her above the rest. Because they're still statistically appearances, sex, and then, conversation, can we talk, blah, blah, blah. But those are still a lot higher for them. And in fact, so I don't know if this is true, but she used to say this all the time, that what you'll find instead is that those men who are high achieving, blah, 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 tend to fall for women who are more dependent. Mm-hmm. Kind of in that whole, let me save you, ego stroking. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So her whole thing was always, because us being high achieving is not looked at as a prize in dating, and sometimes can be something that reduces our value in dating, that you have a lot of women turning to these kind of alpha women, beta male type relationships. And even if it's not the traditional beta male term, because I feel when we say beta male, people think wimpy and weak and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But I'm using it more so for males who may not be equally yoked with this woman in a lot of areas. So with the whole alpha women dating beta males, what is your first thought on that? How do you feel on the subject?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's something that I have done before, but I wasn't going in it for that purpose. But overall, I don't think it's anything that I would like to do, because I don't like to hold the turf. Like, I like to lean on you when I need to. It don't have to be 50-50 exactly, but it doesn't have to be me running the show all the time. It's overwhelming. It's draining. It's too much. It's too much. I've been in it before. It isn't something that I like, something that I want to go back to. I started to think of the person less as a man. So it's nothing that I'm like fond of at all.
Definitely. When that whole video we were talking about earlier, like with the celeb or whatever, when I saw it, it pissed me off. Like, it made me mad. It made me mad, because I was just like, how you let this man marry you and never took you on a date? And I actually ended up going through other videos, and it just made me kind of sad. Like, your partner should do for you as well, because she was talking about a lot of things, and it was just what she was doing. And every time it was with his part, it was like, he's real supportive. And it's like, okay, so what is he doing? Like, okay, so at night he'd be like, good job, babe. Like, is he doing anything else? Like you, I have fell into a relationship like that. Of course, we were both younger, and I didn't realize that's what was happening, because they were ambitious when we first met. They had a lot of potential. Let's say that way. There was someone who had a lot of potential, and just certain things happened, and they got depressed one day and just never came out of it, and just literally just stopped caring, stopped taking care of themselves, stopped caring about their future, stopped caring about a lot of stuff. And I would never do it again. He was very supportive emotionally, but that was literally the only thing brought to the table. And like you said, I just started resenting him. I started resenting him. And kind of like you, after a while, I started looking at him like he was weak. And it's not politically correct, but I did.
But I agree with the emotional availability part, because they were. Like, I guess so, but like, I had a bad day. I did think that probably would be the real, like, thing that reeled me back in sometimes. I was like, whatever, I have a bad day. They talked me through, like, they were there emotionally, but I have to do everything else. And no, like, I did take that on dates because I wanted to go out and I had the money. So it's just like, all of that was just like, this is never again in my life.
Now, one thing I will say, I did not take on dates. Now, I will say, he is the only man in the world who could say I paid a bill, but we were engaged, we were living together, and at that point, the bill wasn't paid, it was going to affect me. But it was also one of those things that snuck up on me. We were about to get married. We had got joint bank accounts, everything. So I'm looking through his credit score, I'm looking through things, so I'm like, what's that? What's that on there? Yeah, no. You're not tying that to my credit. We need to fix that. So I did help him on that. But like you said, like, never again, if we're married, I assume if I go through something like that, they lose their job, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what future Ress gonna do, but current Ress without a ring is not doing that ever again. But I feel like I know once after we talked about it, I thought about it, and I'm like, I actually know several women in those type of relationships now, currently, actively, with somebody who they're taking care of everything. Like, they're taking care of the house, they're taking care of bills, but they're there for them emotionally. So that's what we got.
I can never do that at this age. Like, I mean, I'd rather be single than taking on that. Because it's like, if I started to feel like it was a child, like my child.
Yeah.
Like, no, I have to tell you what to do. I don't know. No.
And that's a whole thing. That is a whole thing. Because you get into this point where it's like, I'm handling all the adult stuff. So yeah. And now this feels like a parent-child relationship. So we're going to get into, why do women do this? Why do you see women falling into these type of relationships? Okay. One of the biggest reasons you'll hear talked about is pretty much there's only so many men that are also on their level, especially if it's a woman of color who only wants to date a man of her race. So we all know the stats on this. Women across the board, for the most part, we are outnumbering our males in terms of education. A lot of us are starting to outnumber in regards to promotion and growth, the growth outlook for our careers. And it's just, if you want to date someone of your race, regardless of what race that is, you are limiting yourself to a very small pool. And now it might be, let's say 1 million women trying to compete for 500,000 men that are also on that status level and so forth. 500,000 of them ain't gonna be able to find somebody. So what are they gonna do? And it's like your options are date out, date someone who is not maybe at the same social status or economic status, education status as you. And sometimes that's all not bad. Like, you can have your PhD and your husband can be a plumber. There's plumbers out here making $90,000 a year, So, it can be something like that where it's not bad. They're not a bum. They're not sitting around not doing anything. But what we're seeing is there's a lot of women who, they can take care of themselves financially. They can go on vacation whenever they want to. All their bills are paid. So then their input becomes less and less. So their focus becomes more and more on that emotional part. So yes, we have the dudes that are plumbers making good money, that are big rig drivers that make decent money. But now you also had a dude who holds down a job for 3 months max. And when you ask why he quit, he's like, because they ain't going to talk to me that way. In what way? They told me to work on a Saturday. A Saturday.
Everybody else had to stay too to do some overtime. They wouldn't let you leave. And that was the thing with
was playing. I told them the Falcons was playing. I wasn't missing that. Like, sir, who gonna pay your phone bill? Because I'm not.
Exactly. That's literally things that I have heard. That's why I'm like, no, never again. So the situation that I had where he really liked me because I was like mean and angry and bossy like his mother. And the more that I was mean and angry, because I would get mad because he wasn't stepping up to the plate and I would go off, he would love me more. But for me, the fact that he wasn't like doing things like my father and he wasn't stepping up to the plate, he wasn't a man of his word, he wasn't a hard worker, it made me push away from him. So it kind of made me level up where it made him like cling to me more and I'm pushing away because I'm like, you're not like my dad. And he's pulling me closer because he thinks it's love because I'm like his mom. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what happened in our situation.
Okay, so yeah, that is like the whole Oedipus complex thing, which is Greek. I want to say that's like a Greek myth lore. We're going to say Greek. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. But basically, it's this whole story. Do you remember the movie O with the girl? That movie is based on this play.
Orpheus.
Oh no, you're right. That's Othello. Yeah. Never mind. That's a different one. But
yeah, it was something. Yeah, but we didn't talk about it in high school.
But so basically, what it is like long story short, the guy was given away by his parents because the parents were told by like a fortune teller or someone that they were going to their son that they were having because the mom was pregnant. They're like, yeah, the son that you have is going to kill you and your wife is end up going to have sex with the son. So they were like, no. So they thought to make sure this didn't happen, they dropped the son off in the woods. And a barren couple found the son, raised the son as his own. The son ended up going on to like a great warrior, whatever. Of course, he didn't know the king and queen was his parents. So he killed his father, took over the place, took his mother as his wife. He didn't know this was his mother. So anyways, usually when people say that, they're talking about how like, you want to sleep with your mom. Essentially is what you want. And the whole Oedipus complex things is kind of like people want unconsciously, like you want to date your mother, and that's socially unacceptable. So what we do is find partners who unconsciously remind us of our parents. Freud also goes into this, but also Freud relates everything to sex and incest. But that's the whole theory behind that, is that unconsciously we want people that remind us of the opposite sex parent or same-sex parent, depending on your orientation and so forth. And I agree with you because I think you know this, the same person, like when me and them dated, it did get to a point where I felt like the parent, like the whole world was a candy store to them and they were 5. Mm-hmm. And it was just like someone always had to rein them in. And it was like, okay, well, I'm the responsible one. So now I got to rein you in. And you resent that. But to take it a step further, kind of like you, then I met his mother, and me and his mother are the same type of woman. But I agree with you. It definitely can become that. I think in my situation, though, because the way that they described it, professionals that talk about the subject, is like both of them are okay with that. Like the woman likes being a nurturer. So it feels comfortable for them to seek out a mate that needs to be heavily nurtured. Mm-hmm. That part I disagree with. I am a nurturer. I do not want to nurture you to that point. If anything, one of the things I have discovered about myself, just growing into my 30s, is I need a nurturer, and I need to be in a relationship where I do not have to be so heavy on nurturing, because every other aspect of my life is me nurturing. Mm-hmm. I'm a mom. Not only am I a mom, but I went to school for 7 years. What I do in my professional field for about to go on 8 years is literally me taking care of other people's needs, me figuring out people's emotional needs, how to help them heal, how to help them repair, recover, helping them along their journey, fixing their needs, giving them the resources and things that they need to help them to stability. My whole outside life is nurturing. And one of the things I had to sit down and really ask myself why I did not enjoy relationships, why I felt better single. And one of the things I was able to realize was the reason I feel better single is because I tend to be a nurturer. And because I am a nurturer, even with guys who are alpha males or whatever, that's my personality. And then even with them, I end up resenting them because I need to be nurtured. It's like I need at least one area of my life where someone is nurturing me and I'm able to back off on the caretaker role.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the other things that they bring up is just straight up plain loneliness. One of the big things they say is like, there's just some people who get lonely and they will take who is there. Also, they're going to take who is there to stay. If the man is dependent on them financially, like if I'm not with you, I don't have a house, I don't have a bed to lay my head on, you know, they're going to stay. And for some, it's like an attractive thing to know you can't leave me because you depend on me. You're going to have to find somebody to replace me who is going to be willing to be your mother, pay for everything, you literally, you don't have to do much. You literally are supplying emotions and death. That's it.
And like that level of control. I don't like that level of control. It was just too much. It was too much. It was overwhelming. Never, like, yeah. Be laying on the ground like, I'm gonna lay on this puddle so you won't have to, like, I'm not even gonna put a jacket down. I'm gonna lay on my whole body on the puddle. No, like, you're doing too much, bro. Like, you're doing too much. Like, you're doing too much. And I don't like that level of control. I don't like it. It's not comfortable. It's not, I'm not admiring that. When I started having that so much comes to control and I seen like the dynamics of it, I didn't like it at all.
Yeah. I think it definitely will push you to like, you know what, but I can be by myself and the same things will be happening. Literally, I could just get a friend for emotional needs and then it's the same situation.
I have friends and sexual needs, that's nothing to go find. I mean, I can have everything I want without you. So it's just like, and I don't have to take care of the child that I haven't birthed.
So, and that was actually like the biggest thing, number one things, something I found fascinating. So, you know about male gigolos, right? Male prostitutes. And every time like someone mentioned it, or I'll see like they've had TV shows about it, they've had documentaries about it, and I'm always just like, oh, that's so fun for fantasy play, not real thing. And it is real. They exist. And the reason they exist is because of loneliness. It is loneliness. And some of the things we're going over, a lot of times the women are well off, achieved a lot in their life, highly successful, and they just don't want to deal with games that come in dating, but they're lonely. and they would rather that control part pay to have the experience that they want to have to ease their loneliness. And that's real. Like, that's real. I get that nobody wants to be alone. I keep sending you screenshots every time I come across some stupidness about dating on my time. Like, yeah, but every time I see it, I post it and I send it to you. And there's some like craziness going on out here in the dating world. But some of the stuff that's out here that women are, the whole Kevin Samuels thing, by the way, do you see him? It's a guy who like has a show about how women should be, what women should be doing.
Is it like an older man?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never watch it, but I've been seeing like little clips of it here and there.
Oh yeah, I don't watch it. I'll see little clips and stuff. And like, apparently he has like a whole lot of male followers. And it disgusts me, one, that he does have a lot of male followers, because the way he processes thoughts about women are vile and disgusting. But with that in mind, it's like, dang, if the men listening to them are the ones that's out here, I can understand why women are like, I'd rather be alone.
I know, yeah.
So what is the next one that you have, Nique?
Emotional support. When you're basically, you don't have anything but emotional support, and that keeps you going. For me, that was it too. Like, he really wasn't doing anything else, but if I call and cry and I had a bad day, guess who's going to be there to talk me down? Like, I don't know what it was, like how he got that part together. Very well. Look, you ain't got nothing else. But I could go crazy, and then I'm crying like, I'm sorry. He'll be like, okay, give me a hug. Like, it's just like, I could do no wrong. So it was just like, I needed that person to talk to sometimes. And I don't understand how it wasn't a balance.
You heard people say that, like, deaf people have supernatural smell and taste, and they can see, their sight is supernatural. It's like, because they don't have their hearing, so they have to advancedly develop these other skills, because they don't have any other skills. They have to develop at least emotional bonding.
Like, it was like I was talking to a counselor, like, that's how it was. It would get me to where I needed to be.
Yeah.
But he would always also bring me down too. So it's just like, he knows how to build you back up. But I don't know. But yeah, so that's what I kind of deal with in the situation. But I still didn't want to be with him though. But I did appreciate that emotional part. I did need it.
Yeah. So like the professionals, when they talk on this subject, they're like, for a lot of women, because we tend to be more emotional creatures, that a lot of times what males who may be providers, who may be like in charge type personalities, and I'll take care of this type of situation, they usually lack in the emotional area. And we all know this. We all dated or know someone who is currently dating, married to someone who they're just like, yeah, I love him, you know. Oh, girl, why don't you talk to your husband about that? Yeah, we don't talk. You know, he don't like, you know, you see jokes over the web all the time about men trying to avoid talking to their girlfriends. Or like, oh, my wife won't talk to me. I need to go to my man cage. I need to escape, whatever. So it is like a real bonus for women if you meet this guy who is like, I get you on an emotional level. I will take care of your emotional needs. And what the experts say essentially is sometimes you have some of these women, they have everything already. They have everything but that emotional need part. So it's attracting to them that that person tells that, because they already pay their own bills. They already handle everything. They have a house. They have a vacation house. Mm-hmm. They have their 401k already taken care of. All they need and want is like someone there that they can bond with emotionally and all of that stuff. They're unable to find that. So when they find that, they're like, it's okay if you don't have all this other stuff. I have it. And I do wonder if that's what we're seeing happening with some of the female celebrities that we see that, you know, end up falling for some of these guys. Mm-hmm. So that would be the Britney Spears, Kevin Federline situation. That would be the Mary J. Blige and her husband situation. That would be Barb's Do Not Come For Me. Y'all know what it is. Y'all already know what it is. That would be Nique and Mr. Petty situation. Just where you're like, you are so beautiful, you are talented, you have all this success. Why aren't you dating a businessman? Why aren't you dating someone who also is very successful, highly acclaimed, or whatever? Or even someone, because like, again, it's not a matter of like, oh, you have to have all this money, but someone that's doing something, someone who you don't have to make your manager so you can say they have a job. Anywho.
That's bad.
Someone whose job title wasn't heightening for 10 years. So all I'm saying is, yes, date the plumber, date the male. Don't date male social workers. I do want to tell y'all that. Do not do that. Do not do that. Something is wrong with males that go into social work. I don't care. Nobody said, I don't care how politically incorrect it is. Don't do it. For every other profession, fine. Date the mailman, whatever. But you'll see, like, some of these celeb women, you're just like, why? Girl, didn't you used to date Denzel? Like, how did we go from here to here? Didn't you date Drake? How do we go from Drake to the dude who's dodging child support payments and the payments are only 30 cents a month? Like, why are we here? Why is this a thing? I don't understand it.
Okay.
But I guess it goes back to the only thing that makes sense to me is like, okay, control or the emotional need. Like, there's the emotional need. Nobody else is providing that for you. You found this person that can provide it for you. And you're like, well, if I already have everything else and this is the one thing I crave and I don't have. Yeah, like, I don't understand it, but I get it. Yeah. So going back to what I just said earlier, there are different levels of this though. Like, not all are the same. There are some who are straight up bums. Straight up bums. Don't work, don't plan to work, where did he live? Wherever you live. He lived at your house. Where did he live before? Wherever his ex lived, because he lived at her house. Who did he live with before that? His baby mom. Like, they don't ever have an address.
Wherever your home is.
Wherever he lay his shoes is where he takes his shoes.
Don't take them shoes off, bro. Don't take them off. Don't get too comfortable.
You know what? You can go ahead and walk on a white carpet. It's fine. Right? It's fine. I feel like this would be cheaper to pay for than get rid of than you. Let's just go in.
I'd rather pay for this stain.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, there's a difference than them. Those are the bums. They don't have a job. Their income somehow comes from you. Even if it's like you have your dad hire him. Your dad, like, he don't show up for work. Like, he don't really do much. Don't really help to run the house. But then you also have some that are straight up gold diggers. Like, there are male gold diggers now. There's always been male gold diggers, but we just haven't focused on them. But straight up male gold diggers, like, he specifically goes after women who have money. He wants to be taken care of. And these are usually like the trophy type of dudes. Yeah. Like, these are usually like pretty boys. These are usually like very, very handsome. Maybe he was on the football team. Okay. You don't ask them questions. They're there to look pretty. Very specific duties. That's it. Don't ask them to do anything more. You're aware, they are aware. This is what they stand there and they look pretty. They look good on your arm.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you have that middle ground where they're a good, decent person. Like, they're a good, decent person. They work a job. They just don't make as much money as you. Okay. He might be bringing in $30,000 a year with benefits, and you might be bringing in 90, 120, 250 a year. And it's more of a social status thing where it's like, these are good guys. So they work, they have jobs. They just might not be on the same financial social status level as you. But they're not going after you specifically for your money. They don't use your money. You know, they take you on dates with their money and whatever. It may not be the dates you're used to or the things you're accustomed to, but they do things with their own money, their own time. They have work. They have their own life. And I think it's important to make sure we differentiate between the three, because those are all three separate situations.
I wouldn't say as much as anything wrong with the last one, though.
Yeah.
More, but like,
yeah. No.
Maybe not you per se.
Yeah, not for me. But like,
I'm just like, if you're emotionally there, you're working, I don't have to take care of the load. You're still like, I think I would be okay. If I'm not taking care of it, the whole household still.
I think for a lot of people, I think that one is the most acceptable one, because also I think you do not have to be on the same educational level. Again, I have an ex who did not he didn't finish college. He's way smarter than me. He's extremely smart. He builds computers for fun from scratch and extremely smart.
You did a lot with that,
Yeah.
with that knowledge and ability.
Yeah, well, that's really more social status thing, because it doesn't determine how smart a person is. It doesn't determine how hardworking a person is or whatever. For me, though, I think it's really just about ambition level. One of the things I like most in a partner is ambition. Wanting to do something, wanting to get something off the ground and working at it, I really, really find that incredibly attractive. None of the two out of the three, the whole gold digger, the whole bum thing is not going to work for me. And the whole like modest job thing is cool as long as you have dreams and hopes for something else and you want to do more. And I'm trying to choose my words because I feel like that makes me sound like a horrible person. But I know that's what I'm attracted to. Like I'm not big on settling on finances. I'm not big on settling on career. I'm not big on settling on dreams. And I have dated someone who was okay with that, and it frustrated me. So I just know that that's not going to work for me. I tried it, good person, and we had a great relationship for the most part outside of that. But that was like one of the biggest issues, was like when I'm like, okay, we need to do this, we need to, this is where I want us to be in 5 years, blah, blah, blah. And they were just like, I mean, I would love you inside of a shoebox. And I was like, I am not loving you if we live in a shoebox. Let me make that very clear. I'm not for that. So I think with the whole, like, just working, not a bum, not gold digging, but just maybe not on the same social, economical, or educational level is fine as long as they are a hustler, as long as they are a legit hustler. Let me make that very clear. Because there's definitely was someone I dated that I was like, I feel like you do something illegal. I can't prove it, but do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, there was just lots of little things where I was just like, how do you work for the city but got a trunk full of cash? Like, it's just not adding up to me. Like, I can't prove anything. But there was lots of little things like that. He also had cameras all over his place and every door locked with like multiple locks. And to be young and dating, sometimes I think back on stories and I'm just like, and why do we continue with that? But yeah, I remember very ambitious though. I will say that. Very ambitious person. Could sell salt to a slug type of personality. But yeah, definitely like they're I'm like 30% sure he is like a kingpin somewhere, but that's neither here nor there. Legit hustles and ambition. I'm okay if you're starting out and you just have a humble beginning. I'm okay with that, but want more and be actively trying for more. Like, I'm even okay with wanting more, trying for more, and it not working out as long as you keep trying.
Yeah,
the other two is not okay. So, okay, here are some of the things that they say are pros to having this type of relationship where you as a woman are high achieving, highly successful, but you're dating someone who is not. So the pros to that is that you have the upper hand in the relationship. Basically, what the experts say is that because you have the upper hand, you're not as surprised. You don't have a lot of bad surprises as you would with someone where they might have the upper hand, or it's kind of like a fair game type of situation. If I am dependent on you for my housing, I'm gonna try my hardest not to mess that housing situation up unless I have another house to go to. Where it's like you are more than likely going to have less headaches and crying with this person, because crying means you're gonna close your pocketbook. And I don't want you to close your pocketbook. They need the pocketbook open.
Mm-hmm.
But so real quickly, so when I was looking up information on this, I actually came across an article that said men who are with women who are the breadwinners actually cheat more.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it was only one study, it was only one article, but I thought that was real interesting. So when I just skimmed over it, so I might be missing a lot for anybody who actually read the article, my fault. But basically what I read is like, it's kind of like an ego thing because they feel belittled in other areas of the relationship. They cheat as a way of like tooting their own horn. So it's almost kind of
That's what I
like,
was about to say.
so it's kind of like if y'all get into it, it's like so he can be in the back of his head like, that's why I'm going to Brittany's. And you're going to be crying and asking me to come back while I'm chilling with Brittany. Basically one of those type of situations. So
they don't know that they're not with that person that guy all the time, so they don't know that he's a bum. So
yeah.
They like to get that acknowledgement, or they like to get like the boost in their confidence from that person because they don't know the real them. So.
Oh yeah, because you definitely have those that will go out and flaunt with your money.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, that was another celebrity who will not be named, but that was one of the things that she had put in her court records, was that he had side chicks and all this stuff, and like she was like, and that was my money. You was taking them to my house while I was not there. While I was making our money, while I was, supporting us. You had random women at my house in my cars, paying for them with my credit cards. Yeah, so that's definitely a thing, but they say it can feel like you have the upper hand at times. Another thing that they say is that you might get someone who is more eager to treat you like you're extremely special and important, and be very concerned with your needs and putting your needs first. And it goes back to what I said with the first one. Basically with that one, they're saying it's because they depend on you. They need you to feel good. So that, because when you feel good, you're good to them type of situation. And it's really, honestly, it's a lot like the female gold digger version, where it's like, yeah, you like to take me shopping when I make you happy, so I'm going to make you happy. And then the next one, to me, it's like the same thing. It's the whole like cater to you. This is someone who is more likely to cater to you. Also, it's more likely for you to call the shots. And when you call the shots, it's easy to brag on Facebook. Like, oh, he sent me flowers on a Tuesday because you told him I like flowers on a Tuesday, then you gave him a credit card. So, like, I don't know.
Like, no, yeah. I was saying, just know that you better have my flowers on Tuesday with my card. Like, no, that's not where it's at.
No, you did not buy me pink roses. I specifically text you red. I know you can read. You made it to the 6th grade. Red. Yeah. So you have that. Okay. And then the cons is, one, you can start to feel like you are raising them, which we already talked about. It will start feeling like what they found is that women in these relationships, oftentimes when they look at like divorces and complaints, what they find is a lot of times the female complainant, Lord, I work in the court system, I should know this word. Anyways, the female that filed, a lot of times they'll see like basically verbiage that demonstrates that the passion went away, because it's hard to feel passionate when you start to feel like their mother. And all of a sudden there's like a change in the relationship. It's no longer romantic, because it's hard to feel romantic for some person when it feels like there's unequal levels of responsibility, of giving, of all of that. It can wear off the passion and love part real quickly.
Yeah. I can see how.
Yeah. But I mean, I think also we have to keep in mind, there's some, like, it doesn't seem like a lot of women are actually going into this for love. It's like convenience. It's like, I don't want to be alone, and this is convenient. So it's kind of like, also, if that's how you feel about it, will you even care? Because it sounds like they always were the kid in the situation from jump.
And you knew that when you were in. Yeah.
Unless you got trapped into it on accident. You didn't know. They snuck up on you. And it can happen.
Yeah, that can happen.
Another one they said as a con is that it can be an issue of being embarrassed by the other person when around peers that are in your standing, whether that be educationally, whether that be financially, whether that be career-wise, achievement-wise, that it's kind of like if you are around peers and their spouses and she's a doctor and he's a lawyer and he has his PhD and she has her master's, and then you're like, oh yes, this is me and all my achievement and this is my husband. They're like, what does your husband do? He's the number one Xboxer in the north side of Atlanta. They gave him like a little a trophy. No, not a real trophy. On the game, he got a trophy, a digital trophy. Right. Yeah, like they talk about how that is one of the issues that these type of relationships typically run into, is that when it's just them secluded, it's okay because they've accepted, but sometimes when they are out and they have to present their partners to other, they feel embarrassment. And it's a lot of it too is because of our social norms. Like society has made it okay that men be educated breadwinners and they date women or marry women who are not, who aren't on their education level, who are nowhere near their financial level and so forth. And everybody's okay with, like, nobody is just like, doctor, why did you marry a teacher? Like, nobody is like that.
With a woman, yeah.
Yeah. But with women, we are told that you're supposed to marry up. You're supposed to look for stability and blah, blah, blah. And so they talk about how it can be like a level of like embarrassment and over compensation. And I think this is also why you'll see a lot of like, and I'm saying celebs just because we all know an example of a celeb who will then like make their partner their manager. And so you could say like, oh yeah, he's a manager. Yeah, he's in the music biz. And it's like, first of all, he only managed you. Second of all, you don't even let him do anything. You just gave him that title. Like, you just gave him that title and give him a check. But they talked about this in one of the articles I read on it. It was talking about how they will overcompensate for this person and they try to over-exaggerate what they've actually done, twist stories a little bit. Also, you'll have some people that will like make them a part of, if they have a business, their business, just so they can have like a title. And usually, and usually, unlike their male counterparts, they are more embarrassed and they feel the need to play up their partner more than males will typically feel than women. Y'all, this is what the experts say. Please don't come for me. I'm just repeating what they said. Okay, they researched. They got numbers. I don't do numbers. They got numbers.
They interviewed or something. I don't know.
Right. I don't know what they did, but they sound smart and they got published. Okay, that's all I know. And then another con, kind of like we talked about, this does not stop men from cheating. Being the financial breadwinner does not stop them from cheating. So this is also one of the cons they talked about. And basically what they said is you pay for everything. You're in charge of or you pay for everything. You take care of them. You're taking care of their family. And they will still cheat. That, you know.
For a fact.
Yeah. That Bentley that you bought for their birthday is now at Brittany's house because you are at work until 6. So it's at Brittany's until 4. Kind of like I said earlier, there was a study where they found that actually men who were taken care of or spouses made the biggest contribution to the house were more likely to cheat. And it was because of an ego thing. And I be damn if I'm paying all the bills. I done bought your mama a house for her birthday and you cheating? Sir, what type of money are we talking about? Do we have hitman money? That's what I want to know. Before I finish this question, in this scenario, Nique, do I have hitman money?
No.
Okay, well then never mind. And so then I guess I'll just divorce, go live my life without insurance money. I guess that's what I'll have to do at that point in time. But I just, you know what? And what's crazy is like in some of the other articles, it talked about control, and it talked about how this seeming appealing to some women because they feel like they're more likely to stay with me, they're more likely to be good to me. But it's like, yeah, on a superficial level, but they're not more likely to be faithful. And is it like, I
No,
feel
I
like that's
mean,
what,
even in my situation, he cheated. He didn't have shit. I was in a high roller. He was living off of me, but he did cheat too.
I did not know that. I didn't realize that part. There was so much going on in that relationship. You might have told me, but because there was other big things.
I'm just saying, the fact is, I give you a place to sleep and you still like, yeah, like it's the disrespect.
Yeah.
So that's another reason that I'm like, no, why are we doing this? It's still opportunity for them to cheat. If you're saying that like you're giving them all this stuff so they won't cheat, they gonna still do what they want to do if they want to do it.
Yeah.
So why are we doing it because we're lonely, or why are you doing it because nobody else is there? You can get somebody else that's gonna be there that's doing stuff for themselves if they still gonna cheat anyway.
Yeah, the only thing that stops a person from cheating is a person not wanting to cheat.
Yeah,
That's the only thing. The only thing that stops them. There are men who, and I don't know if this is true, because y'all know, I don't know sports, but apparently there was some like a football coach that got caught cheating this weekend. There was like a video of him with some woman that wasn't his wife. And people were talking about like, oh, how he's going to get in trouble because I think he was from like a Texas sports team. And I don't know how true this was. I was just, reading stuff because I be bored. There was a whole like Twitter thread that someone put on Instagram, like screenshot this Twitter thread. And they were talking about how like there's a morality clause for a lot of those Southern teams. Like a lot of those people have morality clauses. It's kind of like military. Like if you're in the military and you get caught cheating, like your spouse can take that to your sergeant or whoever. I don't know the protocol. They can take it to the person and you can get in trouble for the cheating. And they were saying that this guy had a morality clause. I don't know how true it is. But if it is true, it just had me like, so you really about to fumble millions for this woman who's like 30 years younger than you, who, let's be honest, you're going to spend a couple days, maybe a couple months with. Really?
And then it's over. Like, is it that serious?
Yeah. So it even like when it comes to like the situations we were talking about, like you don't have a job, you don't have a house, you don't have a car. She taking away the Louis Vuittons, all that, and you still gonna cheat. And here's the thing, they're not cheating with another sugar mama. They're cheating with Brittany from the dollar store. Like that's the thing.
Yeah, the thing. That is the thing.
That's the thing. And that's what they were talking about earlier when I think I mentioned this in the beginning, like my professor who used to say women, they see high achieving, high financial men as like a step up and they treat them like, ooh, this is a priority, man. But men do not do that with women. When women are high achieving, high access, there are certain cultures where they're like, yes, that's the type I'm going to marry. And they're going to put you on the back burner to marry. But during the actual dating, they still doing them. Like they aren't like, okay, I'm going to try to lock her down. They're like, no, and let me just say, there's definitely a thing where there are certain groups of men that if they are educated and have a good paying job, they just think they're such a unicorn and they're so special. And they be out here just doing a whole bunch of stuff because they're like, yeah, I'm a high quality man. And truth of the matter is they really be mediocre, like just mediocre people in general in life. Everything about them mediocre. But the world has told them like, oh my gosh, you have a job? You got an associate's degree? I just, now all of us, we have to clamor over you. And I don't like that. Women, stop doing that. Put these men in their place. Leave them where they stand. I think if we just all in unity do it. If we just all in unity do it, they will stop looking at me like I'm crazy when I do it. So we could just all get on the same accord.
Please.
Right. Let's get on the same accord and start telling these men they are mediocre and average. They are not special. I need to edit this out. Over the weekend, so Rihanna over the weekend, like I guess she had this article that was on her about her Fenty lingerie show. I guess she had a show recently, And I guess in her show, she had male models, and they were like asking her in this article, like, oh, yeah, and you had male models. Can you explain that? And she was like, yes, because I wanted to do something for the men, and I wanted to give the men more. Girl, why was my immediate thought, men don't need more. Let's give them less. Like, I was so annoyed by her comment. I was so annoyed.
Always. Yes, girl.
And I promise you, I don't hate men, but that was my immediate thought. She was like, I just want to give men more. I was just like, they really deserve less. I don't understand. Like, why do we insist on giving them more?
More. Why?
They don't deserve it. So yeah, those are the cons. That's what they say are the pros. I think me, you already said it. Like, this is a no-go for us. Like, if I become a millionaire tomorrow, when I become a millionaire, no, I'm not going to be with someone who is with me for finances, someone who has no ambition, is just living off me. I'm just not attracted to it. I just don't want that. I will light candles all around me and on a full moon and do meditation. I don't want that. I am banishing that thought for even coming near me. And you are on the same wavelength? No, Nique.
Me, I want you to have the same ambition as me, but I just feel like
not Nique about to buy a man. Oh,
it's not buying. No, about not buying. It has to be levels. Like, I mean, right now I'm not like making millions of dollars, so you have to at least be on the same level as me.
Right. I'm talking about the you are completely taken care of. You already talked about it. You said that you are okay with someone who's humble and may not be on the same educational or financial level, but they are doing something. But I'm talking about the other two, like living off.
No, the other two, no.
Okay.
No. I did it before. Done it. We're good.
Okay. You had me concerned.
Some things you only have to do once in life. Some things you only have to do once in life. Learn your lesson. You ain't gonna do them no more, and that's one of them.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Good. Because you had me concerned. I was like, didn't I just give you all the cons? Why are we? Let me go back over the con list again. So that is all we have for today. Any quick wrap up, Nique? Did you do any of your self-care? Did you do your self-care stuff? Okay.
No, I did not. No. Not this time. I didn't even do it yet.
But you're doing it this week, all right?
Yes.
Your spa day. Are you going to post? Are you going to share with everybody?
We shall see.
Okay. Yeah.
We shall see. It's just been a week. We shall see.
That is true. That is very, very true. I am going to force myself to go out. I've just been working nonstop. I keep finding new work to do. That goes back to the ambition thing. I can't be like that and then you just sitting around. Like, it's going to frustrate me. Yeah. Even though I added the work to myself, I'm going to get frustrated.
Yeah, that is true. You have to have somebody with that. But me, I'm kind of nonchalant, laid back.
You are. So. You're very laid back.
But if you're less than me, now that's the problem. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because you love your naps. You love your naps. So I can see you be like, sir, this is your second nap today, okay? I only got 10 minutes in. You got 3 whole hours. I don't like this. Yeah, no. I keep myself busy. I like new stuff. I like adding new stuff to my plate, and then I get mad at myself for adding new stuff to my plate. So I like people like that. But with that said, really, since like February, I have not had me time. I think for my birthday, I did. For my birthday, I did take myself on a trip and I did literally just relax. But since then, I really haven't. And this week, I did not rest once. Like, I didn't sleep. My insomnia is back. I know I told y'all it got better. It's now back. Yesterday, I worked like, what felt like 12 hours.
All day, literally all day.
Yeah, I worked literally all day. I did my main job. I'm starting back into doing one of my side projects, and I did that. I overbooked myself So literally every time I stopped, I had something else. Like I didn't have a time to actually stop. Matter of fact, so now it is 11:35. I probably will not be asleep till 2. So my goal this week is to actually do something for me and to rest. I had actually bought myself a ticket to Miami and I was supposed to be going on the 15th, but I canceled that. But my plan is at least this weekend to do something, to actually go out, to get dressed, look pretty, and go somewhere. And that's it.
Yeah.
So that is my goal, to not add anything else to my plate right now. I've been doing great in regards to like depression and stuff. I've actually been feeling really great. I've been feeling like myself again, which I had not felt in like a year and a half. But also now I'm worried that I'm about to overdo it.
I was gonna say, for me, I feel like I haven't had time to do stuff with my daughter. So I'm excited. I mean, it's just like every day, it's like I'm tired. I'm so tired. And then on the weekend, so we have Monday off for the holiday.
Wait, what holiday?
So, Columbus Day.
Let me ask if we have that off. Girl, this is how I find out about holidays.
All government places usually do. We're going to Huntsville to her grandparents, all alumni. I'm not sure if I'm ready for it, but I need her to see, talk, feel, and understand it a little bit more. So I'm happy to spend this time with her. And I think on the way back, I'm gonna get a hotel on Sunday night for just me and her and do something with just me and her, and then head back home on Monday.
That is gonna be fun. I think that's gonna be so fun.
Because I just feel like, I've been so tired and angry and cranky, and I just really want to spend time with just me and her too. Well, I do want her to see her grandparents too, and I do want her to see her dad's gravesite, but I want to have time like for us to bond and stuff too. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I can't wait to see how it goes.
I'm excited about that trip too.
All right, guys. Well, that is all we have for this week. We are going to wrap it up, and you will hear a new episode from us next Thursday. Bye.
Bye.